My favorite teachers.
My favorite teacher.
My favorite teacher.
My favorite teacher.
My favorite teacher.
One of my favorite teachers.
My favorite teacher.
I can remember my favorite teachers.
The one teacher I'll always remember and thank from the bottom of my heart is Mr. Satterwhite.
Mrs. Grotehouse and Miss Trexler from Apprende Middle School in Chandler.
Adele Spielberg, Miss Spielberg in grade 2.
One of my 6th grade teachers from St. Mary Bachelor Catholic School in Chandler. Her name at the time was Miss Major. Now she's Mrs. Johnson.
Dr. Kemmer from Mesquite High School in Gilbert.
Mrs. Stanley. She was my 5th grade homeroom teacher at Bird School in Glen Rock, New Jersey.
Mr. Woodard. He was my 6th grade teacher at C.W. Harris Elementary School in Phoenix, Arizona.
Miss Bullard. She was my 9th grade English teacher at Etiwanda High School in California.
Both of my parents were teachers. My mom specialized in English, so I got a lot of help with the papers there. And with my dad, it was a lot of the mathematics.
They've always been a source of inspiration and full of positivity.
I was a new kid. I was absolutely lost. It was humiliating. Miss Spielberg talked to my mother and she said, you know what? I need to keep Bram every day for a week after school to teach him this new math. By the time I left Iona, I was one of the top math students. High school, one of the top math students.
Not only did she care about us academically, wanting to make sure that we had a good foundation on concepts that we were going to need not only from middle school, but to high school and to the rest of our lives, but also she cared about us as people and who we were becoming, how we treated people around us, and how we thought about the world around us.
He made class so much fun. Plus he made a lot of, sorry Dr. Kemmer, but kind of dry subjects just really interesting. And I love how he also incorporated real world information and what was going on in life into his classroom as well.
She always entered the classroom with a smile on her face and she made learning fun. She even made taking attendance fun. All the kids in the class memorized the order of the kids in alphabetical order. We'd go through the list without her having to call our names out.
One of the reasons he was my favorite is because he took us on a field trip to Grand Canyon University, and I loved the experience so much that I ended up attending and graduating from GCU with my bachelor's degree in communications. And now look at me, I'm in the TV business.
She always knew that I wanted to be a reporter since I was a little girl, and she always inspired me to work hard and do my best and to never give up.
I had always been a terrible math student, but for 1 year with Mr. Satterwhite, this was in Algebra 2, it all clicked. And I went from a C student to an A student. It was the one and only time I ever had an A in math for the entire year.
I love math. And I can thank Miss Spielberg for that. She took time to help a struggling kid, and it made such a huge difference in my life. Thank you, Miss Spielberg.
So shout out to the teachers like Miss Major, Mrs. Johnson.
She made learning fun.
Thank you, Mr. Woodard, and go Lopes.
She was just so wonderful, and I still consider her one of my favorite teachers to this day.
They're the biggest reasons why I am the man I am today. So I thank them so very, very much.
So Mr. Satterwhite, thank you for making math fun for that 1 year. It never happened again, but that one magical year it did, thanks to Mr. Satterwhite.